Another role mass communication plays in our lives is interpretation. What do events mean? You can see how this is related to the news and information role of the media. The amount of space or time given to a story influences our perception of its importance. This edition of the Colorado Daily has a restaurant review on its front page. And this edition of the Vail, Colorado Daily has a long border. Both editions were published the day after Hurricane Harvey devastated Houston. These are gatekeeping decisions, but these decisions draw our focus away from important issues to less important ones. While Irma was bearing down on Florida, New York front pages talked about a sports scandal. Again, these are gatekeeping decisions designed to sell papers, but they influence our ideas about what is important. Politicians try to control the news cycle by limiting coverage of events. Bad or unpopular news is often released late Friday. There'll be less news coverage over the weekend. Less coverage decreases the importance of the bad news. The Friday night news dump is so well known, it was flagged by these London and Paris newspapers. Now, there are positive consequences to interpretation. First, if you consume a wide range of mass media, you get a diversity of opinion, and you have access to experts that you wouldn't have in face-to-face or machine-assisted communication. Diversity of opinion doesn't exist, though, if you always get your news from the same source. If you do, you run the risk of getting news that's unbalanced, incomplete, or is opinion disguised as news. This is a good example of the psychological noise of selective exposure. There are negative consequences to interpretation for the media. A media organization runs the risk of loss of revenue if segments of the public disagree. A Budweiser Super Bowl commercial led to a boycott of Budweiser by those who disagreed with the message. Celebrities are leading a boycott of Netflix because they dislike a specific program. Another risk of interpretation to individuals is letting others interpret the news for us. Earlier, we talked about proxy decoders. Increasingly, people rely on proxy decoders, such as commentators and columnists, to tell us what things mean. Recently, Rush Limbaugh told his listeners to stop buying bottled water and to listen to him for hurricane information instead of the weather experts. Using proxy decoders increases the danger that we'll stop thinking for ourselves and let others think for us. Notice the difference in these two images. In the top one, the poster altered the image, blacking out Fox. He altered reality to fit the point he wanted to make. He interpreted the photo for you. News can be so complex and so confusing, it's sometimes easier to let the media tell us what to think, rather than doing the hard work of figuring out life ourselves. That's the real danger in the interpretation role of the media. In the next presentation, we'll take a look at linkage, establishing values, and entertainment.